Alrighty guys, West Coast Adventures back again. Another video. Today we will be running through the paternoster. Just a normal single paternoster with your one dropper coming off of a sinker down the bottom, hooks up the top. I like a double snelled paternoster, not your single hook paternoster, because you get more chance obviously with two hooks than one hooking fish. You can use this off the beach for your mulloway, and you can use it off the rocks for your snapper as well. You could also use it off the boat if you wanted to. But few little differences between the rock fishing and the mulloway fishing I find. Mulloway fishing off the beach, I just basically run a little bit lighter leaders. Alrighty, so basically what it is it's basically just a three-way swivel, or a crane swivel as we like to call them. And it's basically a big swivel with a little swivel attached to the top. So if anybody's wondering how to use these properly, so with your swivels, where the bigger half of the big swivel is, that's where your bottom sinker line goes down to. This little swivel, that should always be at the top, not at the bottom, at the top. The little swivel, that should always be at the top. Right, just like that. And then that's where your hooks go, attached to the little swivel. And then what I do is I've just done a double snell down to a set of Black Magic 7.0s. And this is my snapper version. So this is 80-pound mono with a snell. Got a few people asking me how to do the snells, which I will run through on the next video. I'll go through how to do snells properly. But this is the way I like to do it for my snapper anyway. So double snell, that's about probably 30 to 40 centimeters. I don't like having it any longer than that because it tends to wrap around the sinker. So yeah, 40 centimeters coming up to a crane swivel attached to the small swivel on the crane swivel. And that's just tied to there with your normal blood knot. And then off the bottom of the crane swivel, another blood knot with about 1.5 meters of leader coming down to a grapple sinker. I like to use grapples because I stay a lot tighter with my baits, and in rougher weather they tend to hold a lot better. You can use your 6-ounce and 8-ounce snapper leads, but I tend to use grapples because they hold a lot better, especially off the beaches. They're very, very good. They do tend to get snagged if you get them stuck in the rocks, but when you're bringing it back in to check your bait or whatever, or bring a fish in, if you can keep this out of the rocks, you shouldn't have no problem with getting it snagged and get stuck. And obviously running a lighter leader for your sinker line. So I run like a, say, 40 or a 50 pound. So it's nice and light, so if it rubs it breaks, and if it gets stuck it breaks. And for my main line that's attached to my hooks, that is 80 to 100 pound. I like to run 80 because it's a little bit lighter. If you want, you can run 100. You won't get as many bites, but you'll still catch fish. Probably land a few more than what most people will with running lighter leaders. And then I just chuck a Vexed Octopus Glow Occy Stretchy on top of that as well, on top of my hooks, just to give it a little bit extra attractant. Let's say if you've got like half a mullet on there and half a mullet gets picked away, you'll still have a quarter of a mullet and an octopus, so it looks like it's a bit more appetizing than just a little bit of skin, if you know what I mean. And that's your basic rundown for your snapper rigs. Your crane swivel, off your small bit of the crane swivel runs down to your hooks, and then off the big bit of your crane swivel, making sure your small swivel's up the top, comes down to your sinker. About 1 meter, 1.5 meters. Meter's normally good. And then that's 50 pound coming down to your sinker. Grapple sinkers, I like to use my 5-ounce to your 8 ounces. Normal one I use is about a 5 or a 6 ounce. You normally cast them pretty good, and they still hold pretty good, even though they're pretty light. Using a 5-ounce, most people be like 6, 7, 8 ounce. But if you're using a 5-ounce grapple, that's basically like using an 8-ounce snapper lead, because these dig into the sand. These prongs here, they dig into the sand, go underneath the sand, and they tend to lock in a lot better. But then when you want to change your baits, these just flip back the other way, and then you can wind in, no problems, no getting snagged, as easy as that. And that's basically it for your snapper. For your mulloway, basic exact same rig, except I don't put any glow stuff on there at all. I just run bare hooks, maybe one glow bead, and the leader to the hooks that come down off the small swivel will be lighter. I only normally run max 80. Normally I'm running 50 or 60 off the beach. You've just got to have to be careful, obviously, running 50 or 60 with their gill rakers, trying to pull them up on the beach when the waves are pulling out. So obviously time that, but other than that, that's your go for snapper and mulloway off the beaches. You can use my running rig off the beach as well. That works plenty fine. This is just a bit easier to cast. And yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned and subscribe. Keep coming up with more videos when I can get free time.